Most of us, myself included, would probably happily accept the instant wealth that comes from winning the lottery. After all, a few $100,000 or millions, or in some cases even hundreds of millions of dollars, is life-changing money. And that's the reason millions of people play the lottery every week. But the hard truth is that not all of these life changes are good, and scoring a jackpot can just as easily leave a winner broke, depressed, or even dead. Some people will stop at nothing to get rich, and I mean nothing.
Show me the money!
In 2016, a group of people in Georgia were charged with the murder of lottery winner Gregory Birch Jr. 2 months after he had won over $400,000, 7 people broke into his house and shot him dead. In 2012, a man named Uruj Khan mysteriously died of cyanide poisoning the day after his lottery check was issued. Abraham Shakespeare won $31 million in the early 2000s and disappeared a few years later. A woman who had recently befriended him was eventually convicted of his murder. Obviously, the moral of those examples is that lottery winners need to exercise extreme caution when going about their daily lives, because news of big wins spreads fast. And sadly, the list of lottery winners who have been attacked or murdered shortly after receiving their checks is very long indeed. This is just a small sampling. Clearly, lottery winners take on serious risk when they claim their winnings, and while you might think they can protect themselves by keeping things quiet, things aren't always that simple. Life changes in an instant after you win the lottery. Not only do you become fabulously wealthy, but you also become famous in all the wrong ways. Yes, you can wave goodbye to your privacy once you hit the jackpot, and you'll be losing it at the exact moment you need it most. Not all jackpot winners ended up murdered for their prize, but many become victims of other crimes, both petty and financial, as they're singled out by anyone who might want a piece of the pie. Illinois attorney Andrew Stoltman told the Associated Press that forcing lottery winners to reveal their identity is like throwing meat into a shark-infested ocean. They become a target for unsavory characters who often appear out of nowhere to beg, demand, or steal.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Because lottery rules require the public disclosure of the winners' identities, anyone can find the winner's name and approximate location with only a little research. The specifics of how the law is enforced may vary from state to state. In Colorado, winners' first names and last initials are posted online. In states such as Wisconsin, New York, and South Dakota, both names and cities of residence are disclosed. Arizona keeps identities secret for 90 days after the awards are claimed, and in Kentucky, winners can stay private, but you can still request their names from the government. Lottery winners in some other states can retain their privacy much more easily. These states include North Dakota, New Jersey, Maryland, Wyoming, and Kansas. Now, just because nobody's trying to cheat or kill you for your money doesn't mean that life after a lottery win will be easy. Among other things, lottery winners may suffer symptoms of identity crisis and social ostracization after taking their winnings. They're instantly propelled into the world of the ultra-wealthy, which tend to be small, elite circles populated by old money, celebrities, and industrialists. And lottery winners aren't instantly welcomed into the fold just because they happen to have cash in their bank accounts. In fact, they're often scrutinized and shunned because other rich people believe they didn't make their money in the proper manner. On the other end of the spectrum, those with a less robust income may find it hard to relate to lottery winners. They may even resent or feel jealousy toward their relatives or friends who, up until recently, earned medium to low wages. Lottery winners may have all the money they'll ever need, but it won't give them any sense of belonging, and many are doomed to drift between socioeconomic classes. Even though lottery winners are perfectly entitled to their winnings, the fact that they didn't really earn the money often grates on the unlucky. It's a case of happenstance rather than a reward for hard work, and many people find it hard respecting luck. Look at Steve Granger, who won $900,000 in 2005. Granger later recalled that at a party with his wife, he heard someone say, "There go those lottery people," in an ugly tone. And then there's the issue of winners themselves feeling awkward or guilty about their sudden wealth. According to some psychologists, the phenomenon of feeling anxious and undeserving of their riches is known as sudden wealth syndrome. Feeling unworthy of your money can lead to unproductiveness, self-medicating, and other poor choices, and this in turn perpetuates a dangerous cycle of destruction, but we'll get to that part later. Maintaining a healthy relationship is hard enough for anyone, and sorting out finances between two people can be a real headache. One partner often earns more money than the other, or benefits more from savings or inheritance, which then creates a power imbalance in the relationship. This in turn might cause the person with less money to feel undervalued. Now, imagine one of those two people has won millions of dollars in the lottery, and you're looking at the very definition of trouble in paradise. If they're not married, couples who share finances might have some ugly legal issues to wade through. If they are married, the lottery winnings are typically shared. And while that might sound great, it often causes serious problems. So much so that the New York Times refers to the lottery as a curse on marriages. For example, 1 month into their marriage, David and Victoria Jones won $3 million in the lottery. That led to constant overspending, an extramarital affair, and finally, the conclusion that the attention they'd attracted after the lottery win had ruined their life. In 2009, Les and Samantha Scatting won $59 million and divorced shortly after. A few years later, Adrian and Gillian Bayford won an equivalent of $193 million and separated a year later. Whether dating or married, winning the lottery places a heck of a lot of stress on a couple to figure out a financial arrangement and agree on. And that is much easier said than done. Now, most people dread tax season, but imagine owing taxes on a Powerball jackpot.
Marge, how many kids do we have? Oh, no time to count. I'll just estimate. 9.
Homer, you know we don't have...
Shut up. If I don't hear you, it's not illegal.
The US government views lottery winnings as taxable income, and navigating that minefield is practically impossible without the help of a specialist tax accountant or financial advisor. The winner's individual state may claim a portion of the prize in taxes, and the federal government claims the sum in the neighborhood of 24%. The IRS won't stop there either. The victory also sends a winner into a higher income tax bracket, entitling the federal government to an additional percentage of the winnings. That means a federal tax rate on a lottery win can climb as high as 37%. That said, there are 8 US states that don't tax lottery winnings, meaning residents can at least save some money on state taxes. In December 2024, CNBC noted that if a person lived in one of those states and won a $1.15 billion Mega Millions jackpot, they'd end up taking home $325.1 million after federal taxes, if they chose the lump sum payout. If they opted for the 30-year annuity, their take-home winnings would eventually amount to around $725.7 million. In other words, winning $1 billion on the lottery won't even make you a billionaire, even in the best-case scenario. Although it can be a hassle, budgeting is one of those things grown-ups just have to do. Sometimes money needs to be set aside for emergencies, rationed, invested, or saved. It sucks, but hey, that's life. Lottery winners need to budget too, and they'll often need the help of a dedicated financial advisor to do so. Those who don't work out a budget often find themselves going broke before too long.
I declare bankruptcy!
If there's no one on your side to encourage self-discipline or restraint, the risk of financial mismanagement becomes dangerously high. The internet provides many articles suggesting what lottery players should and shouldn't do after landing a jackpot win. Involving a financial advisor always comes at the top of the list. It's also important to hire an estate planner to figure out who will get the money when the winner dies. Failing to do this can easily put their family through a whole new nightmare. You know what Biggie said, "Mo money, mo problems." He was oh so right. Take Michael Carroll, for example. In 2002, he won $15 million on the lottery and spent the whole lot of it on parties, cocaine, quad bikes, cars, and sex workers. He was later convicted of drug possession and went to jail. That same year, Jack Whitaker won $315 million and decided to spend it at a number of strip clubs. One day, a robber stole $545,000 from him while he was sitting in the parking lot of one of those clubs. And in 2015, a lottery winner named Ronnie Music Jr. invested a portion of his $3 million lottery winnings into a crystal meth drug ring.
Yes, science!
2 years later, he was convicted and sentenced to 21 years in prison. Could all of that have been avoided? Maybe, but temptation is no joke. Many lottery winners quit their day jobs after claiming their prizes.
In case you hadn't figured it out, I quit!
And who could blame them? Having plenty of money in the bank can set you up for early retirement and allow you to spend more time doing the things that you love. Thing is, though, boredom can quickly set in, and if you don't have a structured and focused plan for the next few years, you might find yourself adrift. Whether it's a hobby, charity, art, or even going back to work, lottery winners need to find something to do with their lives. Don't go thinking you can buy your way out of this rut either. A 1978 study from Northwestern University and the University of Massachusetts found that the thrill of winning the lottery quickly wears off. Lottery winners soon get used to the new pleasures in their life, and those pleasures contribute to their overall happiness less and less. Even if a lottery winner wasn't greedy beforehand, it's totally normal to want more and more after getting that paycheck. The New York Daily News states that nearly 70% of lottery winners go broke within 7 years, citing greed as the culprit. David Edwards won a $27 million jackpot in 2006 and went on a shopping spree that included a $200,000 Lamborghini Diablo, a limo business, 3 racehorses, a house in Palm Beach, and more. Tragically, he ended up in a worse position than he was in before the win, living in a grimy storage unit and using cocaine, heroin, and prescription drugs. Greed goes both ways, too. In 2006, Sandra Hayes split a $224 million Powerball jackpot win with several colleagues, ending up with $6 million for herself. She later told the Associated Press, "I had to endure the greed and the need that people have, trying to get you to release your money to them. That caused a lot of emotional pain. These are people who you've loved deep down, and they're turning into vampires trying to suck the life out of me." Oh, and remember that guy Michael Carroll from earlier? 8 years after his lotto win, he was back to working his old job as a refuse collector, which is just the British way of saying garbage man. Money can buy a lot of nice things. It can also positively affect happiness levels for a time, but it can't be relied on for long-term contentment. In fact, lottery winners risk becoming less happy than they were before they won. Donna Micken won $34.5 million in 2007. She later described her conflicted feelings in a blog post, writing, "I didn't plan this. If you asked me, my life was hijacked by the lottery." Don McNay was a financial advisor to lottery winners, and he shared his matter-of-fact perspective with Time. He said, "People commit suicide. People run through their money. Easy comes, easy goes. They go through divorce or people die. It's just upheaval that they're not ready for."